But let's go to this topic related to WA of immigration. We've been seeing, again, this is a strange concept for Australia because there's not many boats, but we had Tony Abbott stop the boats back in 2013 when he was, that's what he ran on. He said, I'm going to stop the boats, and he did it.
And he did it, absolutely, super effective.
And so we've got this situation now where we've seen some boats trickling into WA. Not many, but it's unusual, and it was sort of front page news for a little while there in some of the newspapers in the country. And if you haven't been following, guys, this was the story from The Guardian specifically. This is from earlier this year in February. But yeah, these boats are arriving in WA, and I'm just surprised it didn't, as you said earlier, didn't get as much press as you thought it would. And I don't want to see this become a regular thing. It shows Australia to be weak militarily, weak in terms of immigration policy. It encourages more boats to come. It's a slippery slide.
Yep.
What's your reaction, people in WA's reaction when they see this kind of thing?
Yeah, look, I think it's fair to say that even people who are not Liberal Party supporters would accept that nobody did a better job on this than Tony Abbott. He was the best. Now, again, people might not have necessarily agreed with his policy, but I think the fair-minded political observer will say he absolutely did what he promised that he would do. And it's really important for people to pause for a moment and ask themselves the question, well, why is it that we want to stop the boats? You know, I mean, it's a great catchphrase, right?
Yeah.
But what does it actually mean? Why do we even want to be doing that, right? Well, why are we scared about boats? Because remember, I said to you, my parents came to Australia from France in 1970 on a boat, right? So it's not like we're anti-boats per se, but it's more the circumstances in which people are arriving to Australia. We welcome people, but it has to be on our terms. That's the only way in which we can sustainably run our country. If people are happy with our general way of life in Australia and they want to maintain it or reclaim some of it that we've lost, then it has to be done from a policy perspective that ensures that who comes here is done on our terms, not them forcing their way into Australia. So that's why, in part, we have this mantra, if you like, about stopping the boats, but it's also for the benefit of the individuals because they're being taken advantage of by essentially people movers, and they are being taken advantage of in unsafe circumstances. So it's because we care about them. Again, we believe in the infinite value of every human life, and so it's unsafe for them to be travelling to Australia in those type of circumstances. So it's the twofold reasons why we say stopping the boats. Now, at the moment, my particular concern, Joel, is we do have people who have arrived in Australia illegally, and there's been, how can we describe it? I don't think there's any other way than saying it's been chaos with respect to the High Court decision, and some of these people have been released into the community. And it's still not clear to me that the Albanese government have got a handle on this. I remain concerned that we've got people with serious history, violent history, who are out and about in the community, not citizens of Australia, and really have manipulated the system. What's being done about that? That is where I think the people of Western Australia, if I can be so bold as to speak for a proportion of them at least, are more concerned than necessarily the boat issue. Not that we're not concerned about. We definitely don't want to see a repeat of the disaster that was happening previously, which is why Tony Abbott was so effective as he was. But once they are here, well, what are we doing with them? Particularly the ones who have a history of violent crime. That's a big concern.
No, it's very concerning, and it's tough because you're getting not much very strong rhetoric at all from Albanese, and it's outrageous and a slippery slide. It'll change very
quiet again, right? Like, isn't it? It's strange how these things just suddenly just go all quiet. Well, why? What's going on?
Yeah,
right. This is what I said earlier about the voice referendum. Well, what's happened a year later with regard to the plight of Indigenous Australians. What have you done, Mr. Albanese? What is happening with regard to these detainees who have been released into the community?
Yeah, and we don't have a very big navy. A lot of people don't realise for an island nation, our navy is tiny. It's like less than, 25 ships?
Yep.
Like, that's not very, it's not easy to...
Which is why we need to be having strong alliances with those around the world who share our values, like the United States, like the United Kingdom. I mean, there's this AUKUS deal for a reason, and I know certainly my friend and colleague in Western Australia, Andrew Hastie, there's probably been no bigger a proponent for that than him. And I mean, this is a guy who knows what he's talking about.
No, absolutely. I forgot to mention that there was actually on... was it Friday? I hope you enjoyed that particular clip. Remember to like, subscribe, share this video, get it out there. We've got to break the echo chamber. But also, if you're trying to get a hold of me a little bit more directly, I have actually a whole membership group of people on Buy Me a Coffee. It's kind of a overrated eyebrow club that I've formed. You guys know how much I love eyebrows. If you click the link in my description or if you click the link in my bio, you will actually see a link to join the Buy Me a Coffee family that I'm building. I want to be able to share more with you guys as to what are my plans ahead of the election, what are my raw and uncensored predictions for the elections and the various bills going through the parliaments. But also, I want to hear from you guys. What are the big tools that you want to see to help you meander through the craziness that will be 2025? And what advice do you have for me? What do you think the biggest issues are? Some of the best projects I've come up with have been from your ideas. The How to Vote cards, the LGBT book registry, the reparations calculator. These are all things that you guys, from chatting with you, have inspired in me to form and make. I just happen to have the means to do it. But I want to actually, be walking around with both eyes open as to what's going on in this country. And the best way to do that is through you. It's through family. And I think that's why they try to destroy the family unit in this country. If you want to join the club, click the link in my description, click the link in my bio, join the family. There's 3 different eyebrow tiers, bronze, silver, and gold. You don't have to go for the gold one. The bronze one is really good. We're going to be chatting monthly on a Zoom together. We're going to be chatting about what's going on in this country, and I'm going to be able to hear about what's going on in your lives, what you guys need, and where you see things going. And I can be a little bit more raw with you and let's just say swear a little bit more, which I really want to do. I'll see you guys later. God bless you. Thank you again for your support, and I'll see you in 2025.